Hello, my dear students. Good morning. Today we are going to take lesson 8.3 Subtract tens. Now, yesterday we took lesson 8.2, which was about add tens. Today we are going to subtract tens. Now, let's start our lesson, page 449. Now let's read the question together. Listen and draw. Choose a way to show the problem. Draw a quick picture to show your work. Now, I will read the problem and we will try to figure out the numbers and what is required from us, what is needed from us. Now, the first question says, Tara have 30 seashells. So, Tara has how many seashells? 30, okay? Now, 20 shells are big. 20 shells are big. 20 are big. The rest are small. How many small shells does she have? So, here we have Tara, who has 30 seashells. Some of them are big and some of them are small. The big ones are 20 seashells. So, what about the small ones? How many small seashells does she have? Let's draw it together. Now, we have how many seashells? 30 seashells, which means 3 tenths. So how can we draw the 3 tenths? Excellent. We draw 3 lines to represent the 3 tenths. Then we have 20 big shells, okay? So we have 20 big shells, okay? So we will take away the 20 seashells so we can know how many small seashells does she have. So after we took apart or after we took away the 20 big seashells, the left is how many lines you can see here? We have only one line, which means 10, which means 10, which means 10. Excellent. Good job, boys and girls. Now let's move to the next problem. Okay, the next problem says Sammy has 50 shells. So Sammy has how many shells? 50 shells, right? He gives 30 shells. He gives 30 shells to his friend. Okay? Now, how many shells does Sammy have now? Okay, so let's imagine that Sammy has 50 shells. 30 shells were given to his friend. He gave 30 shells to his friend. Now, how many shells does Sammy have now after he gave his friend? Let's see. Let's draw it together. Now, Sammy has how many shells? 50. So how many tenths are we going to draw? 5 tenths. So we will draw 5 lines to represent the 5 tenths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now Sammy gave how many shells to his friend? How many shells can you think with me? Yes, excellent, 30 shells. Okay, so we will take away or take apart three tenths, which means 30 shells. So the remaining would be 2 tenths. The remaining would be 2 tenths. And 2 tenths equal what? Equal what? Yes, good job. Equal 20. Equal 20. Now we have another way of solving. Okay? We can count backward. Or we can draw like this. So drawing here is much easier because we can see how many tenths do we have and how many tenths we are going to take away and how many tenths are remaining, so we can know the final answer. So the final answer here is 20. 20 shells Sammy has now after he gave his friends some shells. Okay? So let's move to the next page, page 450. Okay, so let's read together. Model and draw. How can you find 80 minus 30? As you can see here, 80 minus 30, it is drawn here in this picture. How they draw it? They start with the whole. They start with the bigger number, the whole here. And they draw how many lines? 8 lines, of course, because here we have how many tenths? We have 8 tenths. So we can find here 8 lines. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay? Now, how many tenths are we going to take away? You can see it here in the number sentence. We are going to take away 30, which means how many tenths? 3 tenths. So we are going to cross or put an X to show that the 3 tenths